I just have this overflowing cup, and I just want to like pour out every single day all this stuff that I'm learning and this stuff that I'm thinking about and this energy that I have. I'm up here at this high elevation in the mountains. Like, if you're like me, you're probably one of these guys that's going, I don't need to have billions of dollars. I don't need 6 cars, 10 cars. I don't need to have the big box full of diamond watches. I don't need to have the private jet lifestyle every day of the week, all that kind of stuff. But you do want to have a high quality life. You do want to eat high quality food. You want to surround yourself with high quality people. You want to travel to high quality places. You want to have a high quality level of energy. You want to have a high quality relationship with a beautiful woman. You want to have a high quality experience of, your daily life. Like, you want to wake up every day and live the adventure of life. You want to wake up every day and live this incredible experience, which is just like, you can't even explain it to people. People are like, how are you doing? Like, how have you been? And you're just like, dude, like, if life was any better, I'd have to sell tickets. I say that sometimes to people and they're kind of like, dude, are you serious? They kind of laugh. Like, they're like, oh, that's a good one. But I'm like, dude, I'm serious. Like, I love my life. And so if that's the kind of mentality that you have, or if that's the type of like, energy that you're on, that's the type of speed you're on, then this video is for you. And I guarantee you that I'm going to share with you some skills and I'm going to teach you a couple of things that are going to help you build that incredible high quality life that you love waking up to every single day. So let's rock and roll. Right there is actually the tallest mountain in the country. And I am here cruising down this road right now. As you can see, I teach the guys in my program and in the brotherhood, you got to do 45 minutes a day of walking at least 5 days a week. You want to stay lean and mean. And, let's do a quick check and see how we're looking on the lean and mean side. Definitely, I think I had 2 massive double burgers. They must have been at least a pound of beef each, last week. So I think I'm still fighting off the extra carbs from last week. But all in all, feeling great, feeling lean, feeling strong. And just today, there's just those days where you're like, I got to get outside and I got to kill a hike or kill a walk or something, So anyway, let's dive in. So skill number one is sales. You got to learn how to sell. I learned a long time that the quality of your life really comes down to, the quality of not only the questions you ask. I think that's probably the first thing, is the quality of life comes down to the questions that you're asking and the questions that you're willing to ask, or the questions that you have the courage to ask. And sales, believe it or not, is all about the questions that you ask. So when you're thinking about, well, how do I sell? How do you recruit yourself? When I used to be in network marketing, we always used to tell people in our team, your number one recruit is you. You got to recruit yourself on your vision. So you got to decide the vision that you have. You got to decide the life that you actually want and the life that you've committed to, right? And that life might not be something that you're necessarily currently believing that you could live, or that life may not be currently, something that you're, I don't even want to use the word sold on, but when you sell yourself on something, it means that you really believe it. And you're like, listen, this is the best thing for me. This is what I should do. This is what I need to do. This is what, I deserve to do, right? And you guys can hear the waterfall behind me in the background. Pancha! What a great dog. Man, these trees are just insane. Some of the oldest trees I've ever seen, but anyways, first thing you got to do is you got to learn sales. You got to sell yourself. The second thing is you got to sell the people in your life. So it might be, your partner, it might be your girlfriend, it might be your wife, it might be your family, it might be, your business partner, it might be your supplier for your product. It might be your customer for your product. It might be, the marketplace, right? You have to learn how to sell other people on your vision, your dream, your product, the things that you are excited about and the things that you're passionate about and the things that you truly have decided, like, hey, I'm going to, I'm gonna bring value to the world in this way, or I'm going to, bring these ideas, these thoughts. You might want to become a thought leader, in something, or you might want to become an authority on something out there. Well, you need to learn how to sell, which really means you have to learn how to persuade people. You have to learn how to influence people, right? Which really ties into leadership. But that's the second skill. All right. So number one, recap, right, is going to be obviously how to build a high quality life. Step one is you got to learn sales. Number two, skill. All right. To develop in order for you to build a high quality life that you love waking up to every single morning and live the adventure of life. That's your dream life, with the best food, the best people, the best relationship, the best energy, the best body, the best physique. Oh man, I'm getting fired up here. The best of the best. Well, how do you do it? Well, the second skill is leadership. And the first person you have to lead is you have to lead yourself. You have to learn how to lead yourself before you can lead anybody else. Because if you're out there and you're going like, hey, I want to have this amazing life. Well, living life in isolation is not a high quality life. A high quality life means that you have high quality relationships and high quality people in your life. And in order to do that, you're going to need a team. You're going to need a support system. You're going to need to have, people in your life, whether that's your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, your team that works with you in your business. Maybe it's your team of your inner circle, or it's your customers, or maybe it's your clients, right? Maybe it's your family, right? Maybe it's the people that are depending on you to make it. I had a really interesting conversation with a guy who's, he's killing it out there in life, in the marketplace, in his business, in his community. And he's just an amazing guy. And we really vibe, on a lot of things. We were talking the other day, and he said to me, this is what I want to do. This is my goal for my health, my fitness, my body, my wellness, all this stuff. And I said, well, why is that? Like, why are you so passionate about that? And you know what he told me? He said, because I want to set the example for my nephew. I want to set the example for this younger guy who's looking up to me, and I'm his hero, and I want to set the example for the younger guys in my life that are looking at me as, their role model, right? And I thought, dude, that's such a powerful thing to decide, is that I'm going to set the example for the younger guys in my life. Because believe it or not, there are people looking up to you to lead them. And you might not even see yourself right now as a leader, but you have to step into a place where you see yourself as a leader. You see yourself as, listen, I am a leader, and I'm going to lead other people to the best of my ability. But the first thing you got to do is you got to learn how to lead yourself. Man, check out these clouds in here. This is just epic. You have to learn how to lead yourself. And that means, letting go of the vices, letting go of the shit that's holding you back, letting go of the things that are dragging you down, that are keeping you stuck, and developing consistency, developing habits that are going to serve you, developing your health, your fitness, your energy, developing your skills, leading yourself into a place where you're proud of yourself, where you can look yourself in the mirror every single day and you could be like, dude, I'm so proud of this man that I'm becoming. That's the second skill. All right. And then the last skill, and obviously, I could probably do 10 more of these, but I'm just picking my top three. My third top skill to develop the high quality life and the lifestyle that you want to have is networking. It's networking. And this has been, for me, you guys got to check out this tree right here. Look at the size of this freaking tree, man. This tree's massive. This has been, for those of you guys that know me, or have followed me for a while, you know that I love networking and that it's a skill set of mine that I'm grateful to God that he gave me, because, without networking, I wouldn't live in Panama, in probably one of the most beautiful towns, most beautiful provinces, in the most beautiful country, in the most beautiful part of the world. I wouldn't live in, a place where I wake up every day and I feel peace, and I feel energized, and I feel inspired and excited. And I want to go out and I want to make videos like this. I want to go out and, just fill the world with the thoughts like that. I just have this overflowing cup, and I just want to like pour out every single day all this stuff that I'm learning and this stuff that I'm thinking about and this energy that I have. I'm up here at this high elevation in the mountains, like walking, hiking with these dogs, like, living this adventure every day. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for networking. I wouldn't have the car that I have if it wasn't for networking. I wouldn't have the girlfriend I have if it wasn't for networking. I wouldn't have the career, the job, the business. I wouldn't have, any of the experiences that I've had, call it over the last 10 years, that have really made my life just this unbelievable adventure, this high quality, it's like, I feel sometimes like my life's a movie, and I don't say that to brag. I say that because, I remember the day when I went to my first networking event. And here's a story for you guys. I got invited to go to this networking event. Well, it wasn't really an invite. It was more like my manager in the insurance business that I was in telling me, listen, you're gifted at networking and you should go and you should attend this event. And it's happening in 2 hours and it's at a golf course, Chamber of Commerce, right? Up in Canada. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, dude, I don't even own a suit at the time, right? I'm wearing jeans and these boots, these brown Echo boots that I got a lot of miles out of. I gave them to my dad. He still rocks them. Some of the dopest, best shoes. Like I remember I had so many memories in those shoes, but I remember the exact clothing I was wearing. That's what's crazy. It's like I remember the clothing that I was wearing at that moment because I was literally so nervous to go to this event. And I remember going to this event and walking in, and I met 5 people in about 45 minutes to an hour. And those 5 people, one became a client, which ended up being enough sales volume to break the company record, the sales record of, personal volume in 1 7-day volume period. And that was a record that had been held for like 90 years. The second person I met became a business coach of mine. Another one became a referral partner. Another individual there became a friend of mine that, I still talk to this day. And then one of the other people that was there invited me to join BNI, which was a networking group, that, I ended up getting so much business from that and built so many great relationships. And I'm still friends with people to this day that I met at the BNI group, and that was a 1-hour event, and I remember sitting in my truck. I was driving a 2003 Toyota Sequoia Limited with the leather, the DVD player. It was army green. I love that truck. And I'm sitting in my truck in the parking lot at this event, and I'm just like sweating bullets, like thinking to myself, like I'm wearing a polo shirt and jeans. I'm watching people walking in like 3-piece suits. And this is Grand Prairie, Alberta. I mean, this is an oil town, but people dressed up for these events, and women walking in nice dresses. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't know if I have what it takes to go in and do this and to meet these people, because I'd never been to a networking event, right, in my life. It was 2014, 2 months before, 6 weeks before that, I was drywalling houses. I was painting houses and taping drywall and doing renovations, finishing basements, doing, renovating. I did a commercial job at a bank, and then I went and renovated a basement. And then I went in, I was doing custom houses and all this stuff, and I was doing these jobs, doing construction, no idea about insurance, no idea about investments or people business or sales, marketing, presentations. And 6 weeks later, I'm at this networking event, but that event changed my life. Only learn how to be a networker and develop the skill of networking, but I was also going to become likable. I was going to become memorable. I was going to become somebody that could build relationships with people. That turned into not only a career path, like a complete, literally a whole career came out of that, going into the industry of networking and network marketing. But then from that, all the relationships and the people that I met in my network and the people I have in my network have ultimately led me to today and to what I'm doing today in this life that I love of, happiness and joy and fulfillment and peace, and just feeling like every day is another experience that I get to live of, fulfilling my purpose, and enjoying life, and coming out here into a new country. I've lived in 6 countries now around the world, and I got a guy calling me. I'll call him back, and I just want to say, like, you know, if you're in a place right now where you're going like, dude, I want to have a better life. Like, I would love to move to a warm climate. I would love to move, you know, somewhere where I wake up every day and I'm excited and I can eat the best food in the world, drink the best coffee in the world, you know, be around the coolest people in the world and create a business that I love and, you know, create opportunity for myself and, you know, create connections for yourself and experiences for yourself that just fire you up and you go like, dude, I want to do that. Well, then number one, learn sales. Okay. Number one, you got to learn sales. And so there's so many books out there. There's so many videos. There's so many great people on YouTube teaching sales. I'm definitely not by any means the best guy in the world at sales, but I have learned the basics of sales. And I would say I'm a pretty good salesperson when it comes down to selling myself on my dreams and goals and vision, but also selling the people around me. Learn the skill of leadership and then learn the skill of networking. And those three things, like I said, there's plenty more that I could add, but these are my